Good morning, friends. Happy Monday. Today is the first day that we are using Seesaw. So if you got to this video using Seesaw, awesome work. Remember, if you have any questions about getting on Seesaw or posting work on Seesaw, make sure to ask your teacher so we can help you as best that we can. So today's going to be a little bit different because even though we've been filling out a sheet as we go along with each read aloud lesson, and you do an exit ticket with each read aloud lesson. Today you're going to take a picture of your work and then upload it to Seesaw so that your teacher can see your work on the exit ticket. So the only work that you need to upload to Seesaw is your exit ticket. So make sure that your exit ticket is written really neatly with complete sentences. And again, if you have any questions about uploading that work to Seesaw, you can always ask your teacher. All right. So on Friday, we started reading the book Something Beautiful, and today we're going to finish that book. So in front of you, you should have that piece of paper that you started working on Friday. That's where the first question is, who is the main character? And it lists all of the story elements on that piece of paper. We're going to be filling out the solution and the lesson learned on that paper, so we got to make sure that we have that. And then there's also the exit ticket that you should have in front of you as well. If you're able to make a copy of or print out a copy of the book, then that would be helpful. But if not, you can follow along here, and then when you're answering your exit ticket, you can open the link to the book to help you answer that question. But for the questions that I ask you during this video, I'll be sure to post pictures of the pages of the book, just like I did on Friday, so that you can look back in the text for evidence to answer the question. All right, now let's get back into it. So in Something Beautiful, this little girl, the main character, whose name we don't know, we just know that she's the little girl and she's the main character, has been looking for something beautiful and asking different people in her neighborhood for if they have anything beautiful. And remember, her teacher taught them the word beautiful, and the little girl thinks that it means something that when you have it, your heart is happy. So she is looking for things that are beautiful. So we're going to read the last page that we read on Friday to refresh our memories, and then we'll continue, or we'll finish the book today. When I go back outside, I see some of my friends. Do you have something beautiful? I ask them. I have my jump rope, says Sybil. I have my beads, says Rebecca. Check out my new shoes, says Jamal. My fruit store is one beautiful store, says Mr. Lee. You do have nice apples, I say. Thank you, says Mr. Lee. Take one. Watch my moves, says Mark, playing ball in the playground. Hear my sounds, says Georgina, dancing on the sidewalk. So the little girl is finding all of these things that her friends and neighbors find beautiful. Touch this smooth stone, says old Mr. Sims, sitting on his front steps. All these years I have carried it in my pocket. Through the big window in the laundromat, I see Aunt Carolyn holding baby Carl. And where are you off to, little miss? She asks me. I am looking for something beautiful, I say. She hands me Carl and folds up the clothes. I tickle Carl and he giggles. It makes me giggle too. My baby's laugh is something beautiful, says Aunt Carolyn. So sometimes the something beautiful isn't even something you can see or touch. It's something you can hear. I go back home and sit down on my stoop. I look at the trash in my courtyard. I see the word die on my door. I go upstairs and get a broom and a sponge and some water. I pick up the trash, I sweep up the glass, I scrub the door very hard. When dye disappears, I feel powerful. Someday, I'll plant flowers in my courtyard. I'll invite all my friends to see. I will give a real home and a real bed to the lady who sleeps in a cardboard carton. She will sing and I will hear her song. Mommy comes home from work. She gives me a great big hug. Do you have something beautiful? I ask her. Of course, she says. I have you. So now that we've finished the story, we can answer the last two questions on our paper. The first question is, what is the solution? Remember, when we're thinking about the solution, we also have to think about what the problem was so that we can figure out how it was solved. Take about 30 seconds now. Go. All right, so now that we've thought about the problem and we figured out what the solution is, let's look back in the story. So we remember the problem is that the little girl is looking for her something beautiful. And we know this because on this page here, back on one of the pages that we read on Friday, it says, "Where is my something beautiful?" So she's searching and searching. She's looking at other people's something beautifuls. We got the fish sandwich. We have the jump rope and the beads and the new shoes and the fruit stand. She's finding other people's something beautifuls. But the problem is that she wants to find her something beautiful. So, after she talks to all of her neighbors and all of her friends, she goes back home and she looks at the trash and she looks at that horrible word on her front door. And she decides to do something about it. So she scrubs the word off of the door, and she says that someday she'll plant flowers in her courtyard. So the solution of the story is that the little girl is making her own something beautiful. She's scrubbing the word die off of her door, and she's planning to plant flowers. She's planning to buy a house or give a real home to that lady who sleeps on the sidewalk. And she is making her own something beautiful. So that's the solution. She is making her own something beautiful. Now we can answer the last question. What is the lesson learned? So remember, the lesson learned is what the author is trying to teach us from telling us this story. So take about a minute to answer this question. Go ahead. So let's look back in the story to figure out what the author is trying to teach us from telling us this story. So we've got something beautiful. So we know that the lesson learned has got to be about something beautiful. So she's looking around, she's learning what the word beautiful means, and she goes on a search for something beautiful. And she's finding beautiful things wherever she looks. Now, it might not seem beautiful to everybody. Like, not everybody would think that this fruit stand is beautiful. But it's beautiful to Mr. Lee, who runs the fruit stand. And not everybody might like the sounds that are coming from Georgina's music or boombox. This plays music, friends. Or people might not think that Mark's moves are beautiful, but he does. So that means that it's his something beautiful. So the lesson learned is no matter where you look, you'll always be able to find something beautiful. So no matter where you look, you'll always be able to find something beautiful. And if you can't, you can do something about it, just like the little girl was doing. She was making her own something beautiful by scrubbing the word die off of her door, planning to plant flowers, and planning to give the lady who sleeps in a cardboard box a real home. All right, my friends, we have finished that book. That is another book in our brains. And right now you are going to work on your exit ticket. So today, you are going to use the paper that you filled out while we were reading the book to help you write a retell of this story. Remember, you have to include all of the story elements in the correct order, and you need to also include any key details in the story as well. So I'm going to put up that chart again to remind us what story elements go in the beginning, the middle, and the end. And you can look at the link that we're going to post, or that I've posted in Seesaw, so that you can look back at the book in the pages so that you can find those key details and story elements if you're still a little confused. Now, friends, these exit tickets need to be uploaded onto Seesaw after you finish them so that your teachers can see how you're doing with them. So when you're done with them, you're going to take a picture of your work, and then you're going to post it on our Seesaw page, or on your class's Seesaw page. Remember, if you have any questions at all, tell your parents to reach out to your teacher, text us, call us, email us, so that we can make sure that your work is getting up on Seesaw. All right, my friends, awesome work today. I can't wait to see your exit tickets, and I will see you tomorrow.